Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Tillman here at Cal Baptist University. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do things a little differently today. Typically I do Tillman takes and break down police videos and try to get to understand use of force or why officers chose not to use force. Well, what I'm gonna do today is we're gonna do the people's take. And what the people's take is, I'm gonna show them a police video and I want them to give me their take on what they think should have or shouldn't have happened. So let's go see what happens. So this guy on the end, this officer right here is the one that actually is going to shoot the dude.
Like with a taser?
No, it's a gun.
That's his gun?
He's running away from the officers, and then one of the officers through the gate shoots the guy.
Oh, what?
They shot him?
Yeah, they shot him. And unfortunately, he ended up passing away.
Yeah, I need a breakdown first before
yeah, by watching it, what does it look like?
It looks like they shot him for no reason.
Shot him for no reason?
Yeah.
Just hopped the fence and then...
Okay.
I would need more because I mean,
Okay.
yikes.
So I'm gonna give you the context now.
Because he's in a residential area. If he has a possible weapon, yes, but I don't see his weapon withdrawn or anything.
Here's the situation actually. Situation is the officers think that the guy is wanted for, or he is wanted for attempted or for murder. So him and his brother are wanted for murder. They go try to stop this guy, and then when they try to stop him, he takes off running. As they do the traffic stop on him, he basically runs away from them as they try to take him into custody, and then that goes to that place where he goes over the fence. Now that fence that he jumps over, that fence is actually going towards a preschool. It's actually a preschool campus. And so the weapon that was used in the murder was a firearm, and he was known to carry firearms. So that's the context. Does it change in it or no?
That's all they had?
Yeah.
They shot him?
They know he murdered him?
They know he's a suspect in a murder.
I mean, don't get me wrong, like, they ain't do nothing wrong in that situation, but is he dead though?
Did the guy die?
Yeah.
I think he died.
Died.
So you guys think it's justified or not justified?
Yeah, just murder on running onto like a preschool.
Yeah, if the murder is running onto preschool, I feel like it's pretty justified.
Why would you say it's justified?
Okay,
Only
took a
because like
hostage.
they don't want to take the risk of him murdering the kids that are in the preschool.
Okay.
But
Okay.
also at the same time, at that moment, he didn't show any evidence of having a weapon or pulling it against them.
Okay.
So it could go either way.
It could go
It's
either
kinda
way.
difficult, yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I feel like it's justified. Like, I don't know, maybe he could have like a knife in his, like, you know, in his
pocket?
sock or something. So they didn't really know what was going on in that situation. They just saw like a dude getting attempted murder or did murder somebody running onto a preschool. They're thinking like, oh, well, I don't know if they were thinking this, but they were like, let me protect these kids real quick.
I mean, so him falling on the, oh, well, he fell on the ground, he got shot, but maybe they could have caught him. Maybe they could have caught him, maybe they couldn't. For the children, for the safety of the children.
So you think for the safety of the children, it was right for the officers to shoot him in the back?
Yeah, because of his, as being a suspect.
Okay, what do you think?
I feel like they could have like restricted him a different way.
Okay, like how?
Like, I mean, they know how to hop the fence too. They could have chased after him.
They could, okay.
No,
Yeah.
So what do you think? So justified or not justified?
it's unjustified.
Okay, unjustified? And why so?
His weapon wasn't drawn.
Okay.
I mean, there wasn't intent unless it was a warning saying, oh, he's an active school shooter. It's like, no.
Okay. And then what about you? What do you think?
I feel like I don't know a lot about it in terms of like other options and stuff, but I do feel like there are other options.
Okay.
Like drawing a gun.
100%.
Try to tase him. Like if there truly was no other way of like getting to him, like, and you really thought that was gonna harm like a bunch of preschoolers, like I couldn't understand that. But like in that moment, at least just from that video, I could not tell.
I mean, kind of still unjustified because you don't have the right to take somebody's life. But at the same time, like I would say, if firearms are out there so openly, why can't we use, like, we're living in the 21st century, right? Like, why can't we have some other technology that doesn't kill but immobilizes the person? Like, we have so many things. Like, just the other day I was watching this Instagram video. There are guns out there that you shoot on somebody's leg and the wire will wrap around their leg, so they cannot move. Like, why not use those stuff rather than straight up gun? You know? I get it, like they were trying to talk to him and he ran away and entered a preschool, but still I believe there were other ways rather than just shooting him.
So things to consider, you know, what if they don't shoot him? What if he does go inside, and what if he does have a gun? then what would happen next if he has a gun and he's on a preschool?
Yeah, I guess you have to like think of.
Okay. And let me ask you this. What if you had a kid in the preschool? Would it change things?
No.
Like one of your kids that was in a preschool?
No, because I mean, literally, it's innocent to proven guilty. Like, it's being prejudging that situation.
Yeah. Like they know he's the murder suspect. He runs. They know he carries guns. He runs away and he reaches a couple times. Or now whether he's pulling up his pants or not, and you're the officer that has to go stop it.
Again, it's so hard because I feel like there's just so many other like things that he could have done before that, especially because he was pretty like close still. Like it wasn't like he was super far. Like it wasn't that he still couldn't catch him. Like, there was a little bit of distance, but not enough to where like.
If your kids were in the preschool, would it change your mindset at all?
Yeah, I would say that it was unjustified, but for the fact it was a preschool, that there's a pressure on police.
It could change a little bit
to do something because it was a preschool.
Okay.
So it's a pressure on police that they have to do something. So maybe because of that pressure, they did it.
I mean, being the officer, I wouldn't say it's the officer's fault because he didn't have many resources. He had to take a shot.
If someone is fleeing towards a designated situation where there are children involved and possible hostages, you're allowed to use lethal force.
If you're a fleeing felon, so like if you know like felon, meaning like you're wanted for a felonious crime, or that's what the fleeing felon law is, or case law. It's hard.
Because anyone can be a killer. So you're telling me I'm not a felon, and I'm running and there's a possible firearm.
But there's a difference though.
Do you not have to use lethal force?
But there's a difference though, because this guy was wanted. See, if you just ran from me just for the sake of running and I don't know anything else, then it would be unjustified. Simply.
Let's say there was like a call in that seemed like I had a firearm.
Okay.
There was identified firearm on me. I'm running to the preschool. I'm not a felon. No. But I'm running.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask her. So does it change? Does it change the context? So like using that same exact scenario that you used, you may have a firearm, but that's all we know. Whereas opposed to if I know who you are and I know you just committed a murder the day before and you might have a firearm, does that change the situation?
No, it's still a firearm going to school zone with kids. At the end of the day, it's the same result. Whether you know any beforehand information, you're still a firearm's in place with children.
So are you saying that's dangerous for the kids?
Yes, it's dangerous for the kids, but I don't know if it's better off for our society for it to say that's the reason to shoot someone. I can't justify that. I feel like, I don't know, in essence, I feel like there should be more of a push to have kids interact with cops.
I 100% agree. 1,000%.
Like, oh, a cop was my neighbor. I feel like when you can actually put a personality to it.
Oh, 1,000%.
Actually knowing, oh, this is a cop. So if I ever get pulled over, I know he has a family. There's some type of
1,000%.
person. I feel like it's more of not just starting the conversation, it's actually being able to interact within the community and the cops knowing who is actually.
I agree 100%.
In high school, like especially when everything just started to blow up with police brutality, and all I was getting was like everything I was getting from like my peers in my high school and all that other stuff. Like my perception was completely skewed. Like I like would not look at a cop for like anything. I was scared. Like it was just so much.
That's crazy.
But then like I don't know, like after a while, like one of my best friend's dad's a cop and I love that man. Like everything in me, and like even talking to like a couple cops like super random. Like my mom, when I was like starting to learn how to drive, she was like, Jordan, like let's just go, and she just like went up to a cop and she was like, talk to her, like just like
that's crazy.
Let's have this conversation, and like just like little things like that, like it just
goes a long way.
It goes a long way.
So a little fun fact about this whole thing is I'm actually a real police officer. So the reason I ask this is because my goal is to bridge the gap between law enforcement and the community. So I do different things and I go talk to people. But I wanted to know, you know, that's a video that looks really, really bad, but do you see how it can maybe go either way? More to that story too. So to give you guys, so I am actually a police officer. So that's kind of weird. I saw like the little curveball, but I asked that because I want to know the mindset of what people think about. So whether right or wrong, some of the things to consider in that situation is they're running towards a preschool, right? And they know this guy. So a little thing that people don't know is that the brother that was actually still alive, he actually was convicted. He pled to murder. So things to think about are, you know, hey, he's running towards a preschool now. Let's say he was running towards this building right here. I'm actually a real police officer, so.
Figured it out.
Yeah, he figured it out. So, but I go out. My goal is to bridge the gap between law enforcement and the community, and this is good conversation. This is how we learn. This is how we get better. So I'm actually a police officer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the one thing. So I wasn't a big fan of police officers before I became one,
Yeah.
and like you guys, I would like look at videos and stuff like that, and I would see things one way, and then when I actually was put in similar situations, it almost changed my whole psyche around. I was like, oh wow, like these are things to consider. Yeah.
Do you like being a police
Oh, I love it, man. Man, what's your name?
Arya.
Arya. Samuel. I'm Ryan, man. I appreciate you guys. God bless you guys. Take care.